I thought I'd share a little hack with you today. You know how I like, when I'm outdoors, I like to use reflectors more because they handle the wind a lot better. Indoors, I can use softboxes. Outdoors, I like to use reflectors, and if I want a softbox type effect, I use a Magnum, which is a wide reflector, and I like to put a sock on it, which basically gives me a 14-inch softbox. The thing is, this softbox material, this is standard softbox material, which cuts the light down 2 stops, which gives you a nice soft look, but it cuts the light down 2 stops. So then that's why I made the video about the gels, where you have all these different choices of how the light can be manipulated differently than just standard softbox material. Most gels can cut the light down less than 2 stops. So you have more light, but you're still soft. That's why I like these gels, and I made a whole video about that. That's what Hollywood uses. And these things are actually better anyway. You get more power and more light out of a reflector than you do a softbox, because the inside of a reflector is perfect. It's perfectly tuned. Everything is just perfect. The inside of a softbox is all wrinkly. So you only get like little bits of light here and there. It's not perfect all the way around, so you don't get like a full even blast of light everywhere. This thing you do. So if you're outdoors, you get a lot more power out of one of these things with a softbox material over it. Okay, so I love the sock, and as I said, -2 stops. These things are less than -2 stops. So what I used to do is I used to put, I used to tape my whatever favorite gel I was using over like that, which is kind of a hassle. It's just, when you're on location, this is like a hassle to do, especially if you're doing it by yourself. So I wanted to have a sock type thing that you can just, like, it's ready to go. I thought, can I use these gels and turn it into one of these things? So I took a bunch of these to my, what do you call it? My alterations girl. She's a Vietnamese alterations girl. Great. So I cut these things. This is actually a Westcott 1/4 fabric. So this is a Westcott 1/4. It came in a big rectangle that you're supposed to stretch over a frame, but I cut it into, I figured out how big one of these socks is, and I made a circle out of it. And then I also took these gels, and I cut a circle out of that, and I took those circles to my alterations girl with all my favorite fabrics, and I said, hey, can you make one of these things out of these? And then a week later, she did. So here's the Westcott material. Oh, and I gave her the stretchy stuff. I gave her like I gave her the stretchy thing. I gave her the stuff already cut into the right size circle, which is 4 inches bigger than this thing. And then she looked at it kind of weird, and I said, look, this is not a... This is not a shower cap. This is for photography. He goes, oh, okay. Anyway, so a week later, she called me and said, it's done. So I just got these, and it works. This is a 30-32, 30-34, a 1/4 Westcott, and you just stretch it over. Some fabrics are a little more difficult to obviously do this with than others. But it totally works. So now I can take these out on location, and they're ready to go. I just pop them on, and I can get different qualities of diffusion. Some of them I want because of the amount of light that comes through. Some I want because of the way it just handles the highlights and the shadows. So I have a lot more options now that are easier to plop onto these things. And I highly suggest using a Magnum for this purpose. It is the biggest reflector you can get that gives you the brightest amount of light that the standard gel will fit on. Like here, you can see you got to cut a circle around that, and then you got to have 3 inches so you can make one of these things out of it. So this is the perfect size and the perfect power and the perfect everything for doing this. Obviously, this only works with grids, which are kind of a little bit fabric-y, or spuns like this. And it obviously won't work with, plastics like this. That's not going to work. But it will work with stuff that's a little more flexible. And it gives you a much brighter output than the softbox. So anyway, just thought I'd say that real quick. A great little hack, tip, whatever. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.